The tense tango in Denver is over. What started with assurances of peaceful negotiations between Von Miller and the Broncos turned agitated, complete with less than thinly veiled threats to sit out the season and a cropped out photo of GM John Elway, for good measure. But another pick popped up yesterday, this time the Sackmaster declaring himself a Bronco for life. That after agreeing to a landmark 6-year deal worth over $114 million, 70 of that guaranteed. You could say that's a game-changing contract for the epitome of a game changer. Miller is averaging 0.83 sacks per game in his career among players who played at least 50 games since sacks became an official stat in 1982. Miller's sacks per game rate ranks third in NFL history. Who does he trail? Only Reggie White and J.J. Watt. I've heard of those guys before. Joining us now, Dan Graziano and Jeff Saturday. I want you guys to take a look at these numbers, and Jeff, specifically you. Von Miller is now the second highest guaranteed money in NFL history, ahead of 4 quarterbacks. Obviously, Andrew Luck sits at most. Miller's going to get $61 million of that by March 2017, if you include bonuses, and $70 million of that guaranteed money by March 2018. I know as a Broncos fan, and there's a few million Denver folks that are saying worth every penny, but what are your thoughts?
Worth every penny.
Yeah?
Yeah, beyond a shadow of a doubt. I mean, this guy played when the lights were the brightest. He showed up for your football team and basically won the AFC Championship game and the Super Bowl for you. So as you're sitting back and you're a Broncos fan, this guy has done everything you've wanted from him and then some. And not even to mention what he does off the field. I mean, if you talk to any Broncos players, they talk about Von Miller's basement, everybody hanging out. He's kind of the gel of that defense, the heart of that defense. He brings energy and he makes people around him play better. And that's all you want. People talk about he's a defensive player, he's not a quarterback. He is a game changer. And you saw it in the Super Bowl. Most dynamic quarterback in the league last year, Cam Newton, and he took it to him. And so from what he's done, he put it all the chips in, and he got what he deserved.
And as it pertains to their budget and their salary cap, he is the quarterback. He's going to make the quarterback money. They're not spending on quarterback this year. They're going cheap and young at that position and probably for the foreseeable future. So this is the guy who on the roster and on the salary cap makes the top-level quarterback money, and he's earned it.
He now will make more money in this contract than John Elway ever made in his.
Well,
you think that
good for
chaps
him.
Elway at all? Dan, you kind of mentioned the spending spree that's happening in Denver. Since March 9th, since free agency opened, Denver has spent $125 million in guaranteed money. That goes to 22 free agents, including Von Miller. But what type of long-term effect is that going to have for the team?
Well, long-term, you look at, for instance, look at Emmanuel Sanders, the wide receiver that they were talking to about a contract extension until about last week when the Von Miller stuff heated back up. Miller's cap hit this year is $11.4 million, so they could afford to sign Emmanuel Sanders, but that cap hit for Miller jumps up into the 20s starting next year. They already have Demaryius Thomas for $14 million. There's not another team in the league that's paying 2 wide receivers 8-figure salaries. The Packers are kind of close. So you do wonder if this kind of deal makes it harder for them to lock up someone like Emmanuel Sanders, who's going to be looking for a $12 million a year contract.
Yeah, here's the one thing. The cap is going up next year. So if you're Emmanuel Sanders, sit back, relax, understand that money is going up. And you talked about Von Miller and why they had to go with it. Think about Malik Jackson is gone, Danny Trevathan are gone, but they re-signed Brandon Marshall. They got Derek Wolfe during the season. Elway is using that money. When teams don't have quarterback issues, to Dan's point earlier, this is the time to spend on those guys around. Build the infrastructure and that nucleus of the team, because at some point that quarterback's going to hit the market and hit it hard. So you might as well do like what Seattle did, build around what the Colts are trying to do. When you don't have that big number at quarterback, build around your team, build that nucleus for the future.